Castor is a film podcast filled with dubious opinions, plot spoilers, and a healthy sprinkling of bad language. Thanks for listening.
Hello and welcome to Castor. My name is Jim, and each episode myself and my two co-hosts Sam and Nick review one of cinema's much loved or unloved films with the aim of also serving you up a delicious recasting. But before we can get to that, don't forget you can follow and subscribe to Castor over on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, or wherever it is that you get your podcast from. And of course, don't forget to leave us those all-important 5-star reviews. And should you wish to support the podcast, you can do so in a number of ways. You can either head to patreon.com/Castorol podcast, and for the small fee of $1 a month, you can leave us a nice little tip for serving you up 2 delicious episodes each month. Or should you feel to represent the podcast, you can head on over to tpublic.com, search Castorol, and you can be the proud owners of one of our many designs. Just like me, who is sporting a brand new look.
Another reveal.
I keep seeing like, we've sold another T-shirt. It's just a Jim.
And also, because I am a kind, benevolent host, just like these two guys.
Oh, no way. He's just revealed out of his rucksack.
I can only apologise by the sizing. I hope they fit. Nick, yours is faulty.
Okay, well that's
they
fine.
forgot to put the back print on.
Definitely looks like it fit.
So mine has just got the logo.
Yeah, you're meant to have the name on the back, but they forgot to do it. I did have to check to make sure I had actually uploaded it correctly, and I had. So I was like, "Excuse me."
Oh, you got a refund on that?
Oh, I did. I did.
Sam,
I do hope
It's fit. Thank you.
I went for my usual size, and mine's massive. So I'm hoping it fucking fits.
Do you know what?
Sweet.
My washing machine's broken, so this is now the only T-shirt I have clean.
You'll be in that for a week.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Thanks,
what
Matt.
a nice surprise.
Well,
Nice
consider
way
that a
to
nice
open
little
the
Christmas gift from me to you.
And we literally didn't get you anything.
Well, that's fine.
Well, actually, I may have a little something. It's much less physical than a T-shirt, but you're going to find out what it is a little bit later in the episode.
Is it just mentally scarring?
No, you'll see. You have to wait to find out.
Oh, okay.
Well, I suppose we may as well introduce these two voices that you've already
hello.
heard and you are very, very aware of at the moment. First, he is the leftover turkey. Starting to go a bit dry. Getting a bit chewy. Probably getting fed up a bit by now. It's Sam.
Yeah. I was like, that's fair.
You were just resonating with all of that.
Yeah, I was like, bit dry, bit chewy.
Is that what you want on your tombstone?
No, I want the famous one. I want. I told you I was sick.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good.
And the other voice. He is the pickled egg that you...
Pickled egg?
The pickled egg that you... Oh, yes, you got to have a pickled egg on your Christmas leftover plate, mate. What are you playing at?
Pickled onion, yes. Don't often see the pickled egg.
Yeah,
if it was
pickled
there,
onion.
I would be pleasantly surprised, and I would eat it.
The pickled egg that you definitely enjoy is Nick.
Hello.
Right.
That is the best
you
part. You
definitely enjoy it, but you're like, should he be here?
Yeah, a little bit of an uninvited guest.
I'm sorry, but I've got pickled eggs on them. I fucking love a pickled egg. And they've passed 2 years, they cannot find them anywhere in shops. There's always a label for them on the shelf, but they're never there. So I've had to order some specially, and I've got some nice ones that turned up today.
Custom delivery pickled egg from a specialist
there was,
online supplier.
I've got your order.
One was...
you could just pickle your own eggs.
Yeah, well, I didn't have enough time.
Okay.
I'm going to do that next year.
When the need for a pickled egg strikes you, generally you've probably not got time.
How long does it take to pickle an egg?
It can be anywhere between 2 weeks and 3 months, it says.
What?
That's what I recommend. So next year I'm going to kind of get well ahead of it and just buy a load of eggs and do it.
Do you think if you were really gagging for a pickled egg, do you think it would suffice just to douse one in vinegar?
Ooh, probably not.
Probably not.
No, I think
that's not the pickling you design.
What would happen if you boiled it, like poached it in vinegar?
I don't think that's going to taste very nice.
You're supposed to put a splash of vinegar in
when you do a poached egg. Yeah, but not the entire sauce.
No, but that's the thing. What if
vinegar?
the entire thing is just vinegar?
Then your house is going to fucking
the steam on that would make your eyes fucking wince.
Oh my God. It would peel the paint off.
What you cooking? Shut up!
Yeah, I thought the only place you could... Well, typically, I'd only see them in like the local fish and chip shop, jar of pickled eggs.
Yeah.
Or some really old school pubs. The same kind of pubs that would do like scampi fries or a fucking jar of cockles.
Pork knuckles.
Pork knuckles.
What the fuck is a cockle?
Never had
like
cockles.
it's like a little sea creature thing.
If you ever been down to the seaside and there tends to be a little shack or a fish shop selling like crab sandwiches and stuff, you'll usually get the cockles.
A little jar of cockles.
Yeah, so I got myself.
No, they are grim.
Yeah.
2 jars of pickled eggs, one jerk flavoured, one candied jalapeno flavour, courtesy of a nice local company called Gingerbeard's Preserves. So
Here you go. You're
Shout
gonna
out
have
to
sponsorship
them.
now,
Is he paying
isn't
us
he?
to plug
He's
them?
gonna
shout out to them.
Did you? Right.
Because I have sampled them. I couldn't wait. They're fucking lovely.
Tell me you did it. Tell me this. When you contacted them to place an order, tell me you didn't say, "Hi, it's Jim here from the Casserole Podcast."
I did not.
Just like to offer you a sponsorship
Can I
opportunity.
get a jerk flavour for free if I plug you?
No, but maybe I'll try that next year. Because hopefully by then we'll be a bit bigger and I can.
Can I just say, I do need to pick up on the fact that you're all having a go at me for my niche food choices. Here he is over there with this fucking jerk flavour pickled eggs. And what was the other one?
Candied jalapeno.
Candy jalapeno.
Candy jalapeno.
Candied jalapeno, yeah. So it's got a bit of spice, but a nice bit of sweet.
So I'm not taking any stick from now on.
Oh no, you absolutely will still take the stick. You and your fucking pomegranate pizza.
I've had like one time because it's on the menu.
Doesn't matter.
I didn't go and custom order it.
Tory food.
As far as we're
Tory
concerned,
pickled
that's your Saturday night. Done every week.
I have to say, actually,
pizza.
if I don't want to offend anyone, but if anything was a food was political, I think pickled egg would probably be reform.
Wow.
I like it the way it's always been, in a jar in my local pub.
Okay, so that's been a lovely year. We're now going to be cancelled come the new year, thanks to Sam.
I don't think we can get cancelled.
Anyway, it's been a long time since we've last recorded, so surely you've been watching things.
Has it been a long time?
It's been 3 weeks, nearly a month.
That's it. Do you know what? I don't think I've seen anything.
I've been watching quite a bit.
I'm the same. I've got a lot that I've watched. Obviously, me and Sam have got the same thing for one of them
Right.
because we saw it together.
Right.
Unknowingly saw it together,
Yes,
but we
we
did see
did.
it together.
Yeah.
Right.
We were both in it watching it, and we came out and we were like, oh.
And Sam tried to nudge me for an opinion. I went, no.
In the cinema?
In the cinema, yeah.
Oh, go on then. What did you watch?
Well, we both were in the same showing of Wicked.
Okay. Go on then. Talk about it.
Well, I don't.
I think we're going to have 2 very different opinions because obviously I've seen the stage show and I don't think Sam has.
I've not. No, I wasn't aware of the story until, like, I was aware obviously of it and the vague story, but I was like, I didn't really understand that. I was like, I don't really get it. Like, how, like, is it another like Maleficent where it's just like the bad guys misunderstood kind of thing? And obviously it's kind of like that, but it's completely like turned it on its head.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen the stage show. I did actually start to watch it. It was on like Netflix or Amazon for a while.
Yeah, I think it's on one of them. Yeah.
And I started to watch it, and got, like, stopped watching it for whatever reason. Not that I didn't like it. I was really enjoying it. But when my wife and daughter went to see it, they came out and were just like, "You've got to see it." So I went to see it, and yeah, I thought it was absolutely sensational.
It's stunning. It's superb.
Just amazing.
Absolutely superb. I think it's up there for me as one of the best on-screen adaptations.
I would go as far as to say I think it's probably the best musical. Like,
Yeah, it's by far the best one I've seen.
yeah, like there's classics like I love Singing in the Rain, and like I really love
Chitty Bang Bang, things like that.
Yeah, and I really love Blues Brothers, which everyone forgets as a musical, but it is. But like as a pure like just it's brilliant.
It's a spectacle watch,
Yeah,
isn't it?
and the casting's brilliant.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
And the
I went
performances.
into that doing Ariana Grande dirty. I was like, she's just there because
Is she alright with that?
We all wanted to do Ariana Grande dirty.
I was just like, I was like, oh, she's only there because she's got the voice and she looks a bit angelic, but she's sensational.
She's
in this film.
hilarious.
She's
She's
brilliant.
hilarious.
Yeah. Her comedic timing is brilliant.
I don't think we're ever going to recast it because it would be
No.
weird. For me, it's a 5 meatball film.
Yeah, absolutely.
it's
5
brilliant.
meatballs straight up.
There you go. Well,
I
boom.
would go as far as say it's straight up there as if I were to do a top 10, it'd be 1 or 2 for me.
I wouldn't change a single thing about it.
No, it's absolutely superb.
High praise indeed.
And so much so that I can annoy the people at my work now because we use a program called Populo, and one of them started saying like,
I can already see where this is going.
One of them was like, I've got a problem with Populo, and I went, Populo, I'm gonna be Populo. Doesn't mean anything to you, Nick.
Actually, I have heard that sung
others.
around the house. My wife has seen it, so
I already knew where that was going. That's brilliant.
And also another one to add.
Get them out of your system, because then we don't have to spend the next year with these jokes that I don't understand.
I went to my Christmas meal and they tried to offer me gravy, and I was defying gravy because I don't like gravy.
Is that defying gravity joke?
Defying gravy. Yep.
There we go.
All that.
There we go.
That's,
See, that's brilliant.
Excellent stuff.
That's good
Oh,
stuff.
look at that, right? We never thought we'd see it. Another 5 meatball film added to Jim's list.
Yeah.
He's racking them up.
All
now.
it needed to be was just incredibly camp, sing along.
Well,
like
it's
just
also
the most.
because I don't know. I think ever since I've become a father, I've just become very emotional with films, and there was moments in this film where I got that feeling.
It's incredibly like it's. I mean, it wouldn't.
And as I've said, the thing to push it to a 5 meatball for me is I've got to feel it.
Yeah, the incredibly on the nose of like someone's green, like all the skin color doesn't make a difference. It's just handled so brilliantly, and it's fantastic.
You know what? To go back to the whole that this is another 5 meatball film for you. Just to reiterate the astonishment that up until the first 5 meatball film,
Yeah.
that you I can't remember
That animation,
Yeah,
that anime.
Yeah.
Prior to that, in your life, there had not been a 5 meatball film experience.
No,
from what
because
we
it's
understand.
like I said, because I need that extra thing that makes me just feel it.
Yeah.
So if I don't get the feeling, it's never. That's why for me, it's never.
But because you must have had that feeling before, but were you just like, I had that feeling, but I'll never give anything for it, and now you've opened yourself up?
Or you've never ever had that feeling before.
I've either never
with a
had that
film.
feeling, or maybe when I've had the feeling, I was probably just like too young to care. Whereas now I'm actually able to like analyze a film or to talk about a film in a medium. I may probably able to work out actually that's what pushes a film to that level for me.
That's
You're
amazing.
like, what's this strange
So yeah,
tingly
so
sensation?
I probably have always been like, oh no, there's no such thing as perfect. But actually, by doing this, it's actually made me realise, no, I need that to make it perfect.
You must be so happy now. You must be sort of like dancing through life.
Just elated.
No, I wouldn't say I'm elated, but
Yeah, I started watching like this like true crime documentary about like this like stalker. It was called like Lover Stalker Killer, and it's just insane how this like we haven't finished it, so I don't know how it ends up.
Yeah.
I'm guessing with a killing,
Quite possibly.
because so far we've seen her as a lover and we've seen her as a stalker.
haven't seen her as a killer.
They've kind of given it away in the title, like we do,
Yeah.
But it's just mental. She's just like they have like one date, and then she's like, "I'm gonna ruin your life," and it's like Jesus.
I'm sure you haven't just rewatched Baby Reindeer.
No, well, yeah, yeah, that is good.
Sounds pretty world-ending.
Oh wow, that's a good segue. If you are joining us on the day of release, fingers crossed that the world doesn't end, because as per usual, it's always meant to end on New Year's Eve.
Is it?
So it's always. It's
Is
always
that because of like the Mayan calendar?
Oh,
and
it's
all that?
always premonition that on New Year's Eve some shit's gonna happen. But in preparation,
You're thinking
for
of
that,
Y2K.
Oh, it's always there.
We got through 24 years, but this is the one.
Always
Was that like all the clocks on all the computers are going to
Yeah.
stop or something? Because they'll
Yeah.
get back around to
Well,
it.
because it only had like 2 digits.
Yeah.
So it would go from 99 to 0, and all the computers would be like, ah! But they didn't. They just went, okay,
Next
Next.
number. Yeah.
next one.
We're fine.
But anyway, in preparation for the apocalypse and destruction, we are reviewing and pitching our own ideas for Armageddon.
Dun, 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 dun. There's also a really good recurring. I say really good. It's memorable. I hadn't thought it for ages. There is that kind of really heroic music that keeps recurring. That almost got stuck in my head more than the Aerosmith song. This movie is so well known.
I mean, the Aerosmith,
So
anyone else?
They only play it once, don't they?
Yeah, did anyone else find it weird that it's like her dad singing it?
Yeah,
A little bit.
It is.
I mean, presumably, I wonder whether there was some like deal going on for
I'm
one
sure,
or the
but,
other to
like,
feature or provide the track. I don't know.
If I ever write like a love song, I don't want it being played over the top of footage of my daughter
implying
doing
that
Ben
she's
Affleck.
gay.
Thanks.
So proud of you.
I'm gonna close my eyes. I don't want to watch. It's gross, man. Like,
Is that because you just don't like Ben Affleck, or is it just in
I
general?
don't mind Ben Affleck. He's not the most offensive person in. Oh my god, if it was
Could be Mark Wahlberg.
if it was Mark Wahlberg.
I don't know. Affleck's can be up there for me in the punchability.
He is a bit of a punchable man.
The thing is, though, he's got a good sense of humour.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like when he's being punchable, he's doing it on purpose to annoy people.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of
it's
okay
very
with that.
effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's throw to you for Wikipedia Corner for a summary.
Well, Armageddon it's a 1998
Fucking hell, it seems a long time ago.
disaster of a film. No, wait, disaster film. It's produced and directed by Micheal Bay. So this will be the second Bay film that we've done. The first being, of course...
The Island.
Yes, it was. Released on Touchstone Pictures, and it follows a group of blue-collar, deep-core drillers. That sounds good to say, doesn't it? Blue-collar, deep-core drillers.
The film should have been called Deep Core.
It should have been called Deep Core. Oh, I don't think it could because of Deep Impact, which was released in the same year.
That should have been called Armageddon.
Literally a couple of months between those films in release. And supposedly, this one was written off the back of one of the writers being at a lunch with a Disney executive who took some notes about what he was saying. Yeah, we're making this Deep Impact film. And then Disney went away, or Touchstone rather, went away and made like a counter film. So this was like in direct competition with this film. It's really
interesting because...
Which one did better?
Armageddon, longevity-wise, has definitely done better.
I'm pretty sure commercially as well. I mean, it had a massive commercial revenue. I think it was grossing about 550 million on a budget of 140.
So
it was
pretty
big.
impressive.
Yeah,
but Deep Impact is by far the better film.
Better acted, better directed, better cut, better accuracy from a sort of
better
realism.
Script.
But you know, we're fucking
who'd
doing
have
this
thought?
film,
Who'd have thought a film about a giant asteroid coming towards Earth with drillers going out wouldn't be accurate?
Well, I just love the fact the other one's got Frodo Baggins in it. You know.
When a giant asteroid is dislodged from a nearby asteroid belt and found to be heading on a direct collision course for Earth, the only course of action is to assemble this crew of blue-collar, deep-core drillers. And NASA sends them on a mission to destroy the asteroid by doing some drilling and planting a nuclear device directly inside the asteroid to blow it up. And that's the rest of the film, really. I mean, that's the film in a nutshell. We see the crew getting assembled. We see the crew being trained. We see the crew departing in the spaceship. And then we see the crew on the asteroid for a bit, for like the entire third act of the film. They're
doing some drilling.
Meandering, doing some drilling, yeah.
It's good. It's you know, here's what it is. It's such a weird film.
It's undoubtedly a Micheal Bay.
It's got
film.
some serious Bayhem in it.
It's got a lot of Bayhem in it.
Bayhem, big time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been compared. I think a lot of people have compared this film to just a series of adverts or a series of trailers, which I think is a cornerstone of Micheal Bay's work. We kind of touched on this in The Island. A lot of it, like I felt with The Island, feels like one big aftershave advert.
Yeah.
The way that it's cut.
And then it was,
like
then it was a Rolex advert, then it's a beer advert, then it's a water...
What's weird, though, is like... Because, you know, we obviously have had to try and come up with our own action films and stuff for this episode. Sorry, disaster films. And you're thinking about disaster films, they are all just like set piece. And, you know, if you're going by that formula, this one does work, you know, it's pretty...
I think it's got sort of like the blockbuster... There's no denying it's got blockbuster appeal from that perspective. Big things happen. You obviously get all of like the destruction sequences near the beginning to set up the whole jeopardy of the asteroid coming. I just think it's just like, again, going back to the Bayhem of things, so much of this, like even like what went to be the soft, light-hearted sequences, or like the rest of the film, everything is pitched and cut in a way that it's like the biggest sequence in the film, the most energy sequence in the film. Like there's the parts where like, so Bruce Willis's character, Harry Simon, discovers Ben Affleck's character in bed with his daughter, and there's that sequence when he's chasing him around the oil rig, shooting at him with a shotgun. Like even that, like it's like fuckloads of slow mo and diving.
How nobody went, Harry, bit dangerous doing this, mate. We're on an oil rig.
Don't
you might blow some up here, mate. I mean, why none of them was like, whoa, for fuck's sake.
I don't think Micheal Bay is a fan of the sort of the static camera, because everything's a panning, tracking, a 360 rotating shot.
Panning or leaning or tracking, and everything again has got that sort of like washed out sort of, everything's either yellow or blue. And it's a lot. I think like I was reading about like how this was received at the time from like critics and generally audiences. I think most audiences went down really well. Yeah. But some critics like Roger Ebert, for example, it might be Ebert, he basically said that like this film was an assault on the senses from start to finish. And I do kind of agree, like it is like being punched in the face from start to finish.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Was there anything about this film you'd forgotten?
Yeah, that a spacecraft didn't land.
Because for me, I'd forgotten how quick the film started. I remembered it as being a bit of a slow burn. Like, I remembered it being like the guy spotting the asteroid and it kind of building up from there.
Oh yeah, it's not long, is it, until NASA here's the plan.
I did not remember the opening sequence of these asteroids, of these meteors smashing into the city and blowing shit up.
Oh really?
No, I did not remember that opening sequence at all. For me, it was satellite gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Guy with telescope spots massive thing, contacts NASA, and then there's a bit of a slow burn.
I think
and
you're thinking of Deep Impact.
No, because I've never seen Deep Impact.
Are you sure? Because you're describing Deep Impact.
Never seen Deep Impact. So I did not remember that opening sequence at all. So for me, I was like, oh fuck, we're starting. We are really going Micheal Bay.
Maybe you're thinking sort of like Independence Day, which has a kind of, it's obviously in some aspects a disaster film, and has got that similar kind of, there's the scientist discovering the threat. It's a slightly slower impact leading up to what it's going to be. But yeah, I think the big thing I'd forgotten was during that scene where Harry Stamper is chasing AJ across the oil rig. I'd forgotten about the size of the wrench that Michael Clark Duncan's bear character is holding. It is enormous.
It's almost akin to Arnie in the fucking steel beam from Running Man, isn't it? It's like that's kind of the thing we're looking at here.
Why didn't we see Michael Clark Duncan in more kind of... I know he's been in some sort of action-y films, but why didn't we think we saw him as like becoming a action star in and of himself, do we think? Because he's got all the kind of...
He's got all the attributes, hasn't he?
Is it just because he's also too
quite
nice?
young.
He did.
He wasn't that old.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe he just didn't have the range. Like, he's got the imposing size, but maybe he just didn't have the actual...
Well, he's got the range. I think
about like the Green Mile and stuff.
Maybe
he's
he's like
unbelievable.
almost got too much range.
Yeah,
maybe he's like a bit too much softly spoken. And
He's always been like pushed back to like just side character, isn't he? He's never been...
not in the Green Mile.
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. That's going on the list. Of course you haven't seen the Green Mile.
The Green Mile will fuck you up.
I just think like I think we could get him absolutely gushing out 5 meatballs if we throw more of these good films.
We could get him squirting 5 meatballs all over the mic.
I just think it's because he hasn't seen a lot of good films.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot of films.
Doesn't mean I'm going to give them 5 meatballs.
So did you guys have any other, apart from Steve Buscemi, it's Rockhound, we've already established is probably one of the best things. Did you have any standout performances in this film?
The classic guy that's like, move out the way, please. I know how to fix it.
He's
I can't
so
think of
good.
his name, but yeah,
Peter
he's great.
Stormare is just great.
He is great. Yeah, he was pretty decent.
Lev Andropov.
In Russian spacecraft, nothing works.
Yeah, other than that, I think it's just those two. I think they're the two standouts. Other than that, they're just very generic people.
I quite like the guy that plays like the like Marine captain. He's in like loads of stuff, isn't he? As like the
I can't think of his name. He's the guy. He's the FBI agent from Prison Break, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
He's in loads of stuff. He is. Is it William Fichtner?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he's in so much stuff.
Yeah.
I think we cast him in something ages ago. I can't remember what it was. Yeah. Do you know what? I've always got a little soft spot for Owen Wilson as well.
I was surprised how quickly he died.
I'd forgotten he was in the film.
Yeah.
I'd completely forgotten he was in the film.
Yeah. He's always quite... I think as long as you know, like, what you're getting with Owen Wilson. And that's why I feel the same way about Vince Vaughan. And I don't know why you guys absolutely hate Vince Vaughan.
Because Owen Wilson is massively better than Vince Vaughan.
Vince Vaughan could have been one of the crew in this.
The one that died first, yeah.
He could have definitely been one that blew up on impact when the shuttle crashed on the asteroid. Absolutely.
He would have died because someone would have been like, "Oh, Vince, can you turn left?" And he'd be like, for no reason, "No, I'm not. I'm going to turn right." And he'd be like, "Fuck you, Vince. Just do what we say." "No, I'm not going to do it."
I'm Vince Vaughan, bitch. I'll do what I want.
He'd be cracking out comedic quips left, right, and centre.
He would
You
not.
know
Name
he
a
would.
film he's good in.
Wedding Crashers.
He's not.
Name a film that he's good in.
There's
The Breakup is quite funny.
It's okay.
But is it funny because of him?
No, it's sort of. He's such a douche.
I think it's okay.
In fact,
Mr. and Mrs.
Dodgeball is probably
Smith,
the only
okay.
film.
Dodgeball, he's good.
Dodgeball is probably the only film I could stomach him in.
Look, I'm not saying he's out there fucking racking up Oscars and stuff.
He's not.
Again,
He's not doing that.
He certainly is not.
Did you guys have any... Obviously, this is a film, like many Micheal Bay catalogue films, where you kind of meant to take your brain out and enjoy the explosions, right, for what it is. But having said that, did you have any issue with the levels of, shall we say, scientific or physical accuracy represented in the film's premise?
Yeah, I kind of feel like I'm guessing they didn't have like a scientific advisor on the film, because everything that happened with that like rover that got lost and then kind of traversed the way across and then like
Has to do the space jump.
did a jump and like what the fuck like
Well, supposedly this film had about 9 writers.
I mean, you
and
can
none of
tell.
them were scientists.
You can tell because they all probably had their own little ideas and they went, yeah, we'll just mould it into one film.
I would have taken 8 writers and a scientist.
Yeah, we can lose one writer
Yeah.
at least.
I actually liked how they how it got written in that they needed to be the crew. I actually thought they did a good job of explaining that.
I mean, they do
by
a
bringing
job
them in,
of
by bringing them
explaining.
in because they had taken his design and they needed him to fix it, and he was like, "Well, it's going to take fucking months to train." He gave a good reason why it needed to be them, and that he couldn't train an astronaut.
But I mean, this is the.
I mean, it's
famous
still
line.
mental that drillers became astronauts, but I thought they did a good job of explaining why it had to be the drillers, not the astronauts.
Maybe, but like, it is still surely it's more difficult to become an astronaut than a driller.
So what was it? I think there's a great thing that Ben Affleck's quoted as having said.
So in the DVD commentary,
You've sent us this before, haven't you?
Ben Affleck says, "I asked Micheal Bay why it was easier to train drillers to become astronauts than astronauts to become drillers, and he said, fuck off."
And I wonder if that was a recurring theme throughout lots of the film. It's like, do we think this is gonna?
Yeah.
Do we think this is feasible?
Why-
Shut the fuck up.
Why does Optimus Prime in Transformers 2 say to Megatron, "Give me your face"? Which doesn't seem very on brand for the leader of the Autobots.
You do get the sense with a lot of Micheal Bay films that that people question him, and the response is probably just "fuck off."
I think a lot of what Micheal Bay does, he kind of, you know that when you like are falling asleep and you kind of have those amazing ideas and you're like, "Oh, I'll write that down, that'll be brilliant in the morning." And in the morning you look at it and you go,
What was
"That's
that?
weird."
That looks like
Frog-shaped cheesy crisp.
that looks like a fever dream. But Micheal
Just
Bay
a
goes,
late night notepad rambling.
Yeah.
Micheal Bay looks and goes, "Well, that's my next $1 million
Green
idea."
light. We'll
Do you
green
know
light
what?
that one.
That big transformer should have little metal testicles.
Have you
Well
guys
done,
heard
Michael.
of? Have you guys heard of the American celebrity scientist, activist Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Neil deGrasse Tyson, yeah.
So he's quite. He was on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert in 2023, and he said, up until the release of Moonfall in 2022,
That's a great film.
Armageddon was the movie which violated more laws of physics per minute than any other movie. And supposedly,
I can get on board with that. Yeah.
I think there was like some scientists or students, and they like basically looked into how powerful a nuclear weapon would need to be to actually split an asteroid the size of Texas. And I think they said it would need to be like 1 billion times stronger than like the Soviet Union's biggest nuclear weapon at the time.
Wow.
So like, I think like for a casual viewer, no one gives a fuck really.
No,
of course not.
To be fair, that wasn't even something that came up. I was like, yeah, nuclear bomb.
Drill down, split it.
Nuclear bomb makes sense, yeah. I drill 800 feet into the asteroid.
Was it the size of Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the size of Texas. Or that was I think they gave an example of if it was the size of Texas, this is what would happen. I don't know if it was the size of Texas.
Because if it was the size of Texas,
they definitely...
How did the fucking rovers find each other?
They definitely mentioned...
Yeah, exactly. Again,
they definitely said something about the size of Texas, but I don't know if they explicitly said this asteroid is the size of Texas, or if they said if it was the size of Texas, or, you know...
They do say the size of Texas, yeah, because the smaller ones initially, which are fucking shit up, they're like I think like the president or the crew are like, how big are these?
Yeah, they said they're like, melons and shit.
These are small ones, yeah, the size of basketballs and Volkswagens. And then it's like this one.
I mean, that's a big fucking distinct basketball Volkswagen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure like a celestial body like the size that would be the size of Texas, right? Even from like just gravity and stuff, I think it's like very unlikely that it would even be able to get past our gravitational field and all that shit. I might be talking about my ass.
I don't know.
I forgot you suddenly started studying.
Someone's got to think about the science.
Hey, Nick deGrasse Tyson. I know that like they don't have to actually be that big though to be planet killers, do they?
No, it wouldn't need to be. It would not need to be.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, should we give it our official meatball seal of approval?
Should we just quickly touch on any of the other performances? I mean, is there anything? Obviously,
Jesus.
you've got Bruce Willis, you've got Ben Affleck, you've got Liv Tyler.
I thought Bruce Willis was really good.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think he's kind of just bruising his way through it.
Like there was a moment in this one. I actually think we've also given Micheal Bay a bit of a shoe-in, because I actually thought he managed to do a really good job of bringing a lot of emotion into it at the end. Like I think this is another thing where like since me becoming a parent, I've got a lot more emotional because I was in fucking bits at the end of this film.
Do you know what I did watch that end scene?
Genuinely in bits. So when Bruce Willis is obviously giving his speech to Liv Tyler, and then they land, and then the bloke comes out, and then the kid comes. I'm fucking in bits.
Do you know what? I'm embarrassed to say I did get that sort of pain in my throat. Do you know what I think it is though? And credit has to go to the composer of this film. The music is effective. It's big,
I think it's probably
emotive,
more music that done it.
Orchestral. You've got that recurring theme. The music is a massive part of this film.
100%.
I think maybe I've seen it too many times.
It's dulled the emotional impact.
It's good. In my head now, I have Ben Affleck going, Harry, no, Harry, I love you, Harry, mixed with from Home Alone, where he's like, Harry! So that's kind of like one scene for me. I'm like, is Ben Affleck in that tube being like, Harry?
And it didn't need Bruce Willis then going like, love you, son. Or so he said something that's like, well, he didn't need that, come on.
Yeah. He should have been like, fuck you, Ben Affleck.
Yeah, stop fucking
Also, that now makes his relationship with Liv Tyler's character a bit weird.
Well, he would have technically become his son if they'd married.
I guess so, yeah.
Son-in-law, yeah. I thought Billy Bob Thornton as Dan Truman at NASA, he's got that whole sort of...
Yeah, he's pretty decent.
Yeah, he's got a thing about he couldn't go into space himself.
I have a weird thing about Billy Bob Thornton.
Like a little kink?
No, as in he's kind of...
You got a little thing for him?
He's just...
Bleh?
In everything. I'm like, you went with Billy Bob Thornton, did you? Okay.
So that was your number one choice?
Yeah. Like Bad Santa, I'm like...
You went with Billy
Bob Thornton for that, did you? Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of see. I think he's good in this because he is quite understated, as you said, he often is. Like maybe that's what he brings to roles. Maybe not so much Bad Santa.
But like, who's saying like...
I'll tell you who we need for this.
You want Billy Bob Thornton for that? Probably the same fucker that's saying you want Vince Vaughan for it.
Well, supposedly for Willis's character, Harry Stamper, who's like obviously the main drilling specialist, they did think about Sean Connery. Decided they wanted someone younger. I think he was sort of forced then to do it because following one of his other films that was basically a disaster. I think it was, or something, it didn't come into production. It
Hudson
was a film
Hawk,
called,
or?
no, it was never released. Broadway Brawler, I think it was going to be. So as part of Conversation, he was part of a 3-picture deal with Touchstone Pictures. And he had a big pay cut to do this film. But yeah, they had considered Sean Connery, and then for AJ, another person that auditioned was Bradley Cooper.
Oh, right.
So I think it would be,
that would have
that
been
would be
pre
great.
any big Bradley Cooper
I
stuff.
say
wouldn't it?
he would have been
Absolutely,
Really
98,
unknown.
Right off,
so
yeah, he'd been
unknown, relatively.
really unknown, wouldn't he?
I mean, knowing what we know about him now, amazing.
Would have been great.
I mean, potentially he would have been amazing. Don't know what it'd been like back then.
Completely different.
I'm guessing Sean Connery would have been, a big Scottish guy in it, though.
We're talking like, what's this? Like, so The Rock era Sean Connery.
Yeah. Trying to teach people to drill.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been American.
It'd have been a very different film. With
They'd
Sean
have to
Connery,
totally
wouldn't
rewrite that character.
it? I don't think Sean Connery dies.
You don't?
I think if Sean Connery's in that role, I don't think he's dying. I think AJ's dying.
Sure, because
fuck him,
Connery
I
would have
like him.
refused.
I think Connery would have refused. I don't think he's dying.
Fuck, am I letting you go back and shag my daughter?
He does it himself.
I genuinely don't think, especially with the stature of the actor at the time, I don't think Connery's dying, and I think they're killing off Bradley Cooper if that was it, or Ben Affleck. I don't think he's dying.
Although he does die in
There you go.
Highlander, doesn't he? He's not
Gets his head chopped off,
not
mate.
against them dying.
I'm sure he's point, but like with regards to this specific role,
Yeah.
I don't think Connery dies.
And then he died so badly in League of Gentlemen. He never worked again. What was it called? League of
Extraordinary
League of
Gentlemen.
Extraordinary Gentlemen.
How did he die in that?
No, he doesn't die.
He doesn't
His
die.
career dies.
Okay,
Oh,
got
it's
you.
so bad.
I don't really remember it.
Actually, maybe he does
Oh,
die.
is that bad?
It was. I remember. I remember kind of enjoying it, but maybe
I don't think that's an endorsement.
no. I think
It's
if I watch it back now, it's probably going to be one that I just
I
go,
would say that's
"Fuck
one
off."
of my worst films of all time. That film.
Okay,
Is up there.
It probably is shit then.
Yeah,
Minus
it is
3
up there.
meatballs.
For this film?
No, for League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Minus-
Minus
minus
3.
three.
I thought you said
Minus
mine
three.
is 3
No.
meatballs.
Should we do meatballs?
Let's do meatballs.
Ray-Ins. Let's do meatball Ray-Ins. So who wants to start?
I'll come in.
Yeah, go on,
I'll
then.
come in with
'Cause I feel like you sound quite negative on this film.
Yeah, I think, well, there's one side of this is where you accept the film for what it is and you enjoy the bolshiness of it and the kind of... And I know he said that before with some things where there's a bit of like how I felt like watching it and then from like a more critical perspective of what is the quality of this as a film. And I think it can be two very different things. It's not too different for me here, so I think like how I felt watching it maybe up to 3, sort of analysing it as the quality of a film is definitely lower than that. So maybe on average, going to go 2.5 meatballs, I think.
You
This
pick
is
one.
not...
What one
Pick
you going
one.
with? Yeah, pick one.
2.5. Let's split the difference, yeah.
No difference, right down the middle.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Okay, well, shall I go next, or do you want to go?
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, you go.
Yeah, go on. Like I said, for me, I think we've done. Like I said, I think we did Micheal Bay a bit of an injustice with that. With what we've been saying, I do think this is one of his better films. Like I said, it's before he decided to franchise himself out and just stop giving a fuck. So I do think there is some good writing in there. Like I said, I think the good bit of emotional input at the end. I like how they actually made it be. It has to be the drillers and not astronauts. Obviously, there's a lot of Bayism in there. I was worried going into it that I was going to hate it because I remember really liking it when I was younger, but I did still really enjoy it. Like I say, obviously I got that emotional connection at the end. It's not 5 meatballs. Don't worry, Nick. Don't worry. I know. I have said I need.
5 meatballs!
I know. I have said to make a 5 meatball film, I'd need that. But obviously, it's definitely not a 5
You
meatball
also need
film.
it to be a really good film.
Well, I do still think it is a decent film. It's not superb in any way, shape, or form, but I would still give it 4 meatballs.
4.
Yeah, I'm giving it 4 meatballs.
High praise, I would say.
See, I'm going to slightly differently because I enjoy it. It's fine. It doesn't offend me in any way. It's got classic tropes. It's got good beats. It's got good performances.
Yeah.
The music's good.
I do think there is some good character interplay. Like I think the bit where they're all training and stuff. Like there's humour in this film,
It's good
and
stuff.
that is arguably one of the best points of it.
But I can't bring myself to give it more than 2 meatballs. It's 2 meatballs. It's Micheal Bay has done some okay stuff and he's done some tragic stuff, but this could be done by like half a dozen directors. Like it could be done like it's just there's nothing about it that is special. Like it's just a bit. Yeah,
I mean, this is obviously
like is it going to make anybody
disaster blockbusters?
Yeah.
Right.
And like there are a lot of those films that I quite enjoy. I quite like The Day After Tomorrow. I quite like 2012. Like there are some like alright disaster films, but this is never going to make anyone's top 50.
Yeah.
Like
of all time or just disaster film?
of all time. Like
Sure.
it's fine. There's like 0 twists. And not everything has to have a twist, but there's nothing in it that isn't just like, oh, I want to eat popcorn and turn my brain off.
Yeah, and I've
there's nothing
again
wrong with
taken it
that.
on those merits. That some people
And there's nothing wrong with
really
that.
enjoy this film.
But for me, there's nothing that elevates that above a 2 meatballs, I think. You know.
Right, interesting. Jim,
Yes.
there is something about this film that I want to pick up with you.
Go on then.
Because on rewatching, I was like, Jim is going to fucking hate this film. Along the same lines that you hated Independence Day. Because whilst not having the same kind of military aspect, it's more kind of NASA and Air Force, this is all about America saving the day.
But I know why he's okay with it.
Go on.
Because it's one drilling team that happens to be American.
Okay. And there happens to be a Russian guy.
Yeah.
It's because they have not included. If they had gone out of the way to go, and include the rest of the world, and then they just went America only, I'd have an issue.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
Well, like in Independence Day, they made an effort to go UK, India. They actually showed the other nations.
Yeah, but at least they showed that it was an international conflict.
Yeah, but then it was just America. This is just self-contained. America found it. America went to do it.
America found it.
Well, an American astrologist went saw the thing, and they went.
And they didn't tell anyone else. Even when Paris got destroyed, they were like, "No, nothing's going on."
Will anyone know?
We're just going to do a covert mission. Let's not panic the fucking world. Off we go.
But does it not annoy you more the fact that
I actually do find this stranger that like 20 spacecraft weren't launched
right
from
international
like loads
effort.
of different countries.
I mean, that would make more sense.
Yeah, right.
It's literally a world-ending event.
Yeah, I mean that would make more sense. But in fact, they didn't make an effort to include everyone. And then if they had then fired off 20 rockets from around the world, but it was only America that did it, I'd have probably more of an issue. Because they wouldn't have included all the other nations to actually show their collective efforts.
Well, let me ask you this.
But because it was just small team, covert mission, let's not panic the world.
Let's not panic the world. Paris is gone. It's gone.
Fuck Paris.
What was that?
There's like
Overpriced.
untold millions of deaths already. Covert mission. Let's not panic anyone about
I mean, that's just freak asteroid strike, mate. Freak meteor strike. Freak meteor strike.
Right, can I put this to you though? Do you think that America, and not even just America, right, but the one place where they find Harry Stamper is the only place in the world that does drilling
He
with the good
invented
drills?
that good drill, didn't he?
Surely
the
they
reason
could be like,
that-
we need the best
But
drillers.
the reason, he is the best drilling team. And the reason they
In the
went to
world?
get Harry Stamper is because they took his fucking design.
In the world, okay.
What?
They
They
need
took
only
his-
that drill.
they-
What
took-
made
well, yeah,
his
they
design
took his
different?
design.
It was just
I
a
don't know, they
bit
didn't-
that went round.
I don't know, they didn't actually say, but they took his
course
design
they
and fucked it. That's why they had to get Harry
They
Stamper
didn't say
so they could
anything
fix it.
because then anybody that knows anything about drills would be like, that bullshit.
Well, you know what? We should have gone to the drilling community on this one and been like, what's your perception of...
If anyone works for Screwfix,
Can you... We'll also accept Tool Station.
yeah, B&Q, anyone that just, yeah.
Anyone with
Wix.
drilling
Yeah,
experience.
Wix, yeah.
Fuck it, anyone with a drill.
Sad times.
Yeah, anyone with it. I've got a drill. I've got 4 drills.
Oh!
Yeah,
I'm going up into space.
I've been doing some drilling recently, putting
you,
the fence back
could you
together.
just give some input on that drill then and fix
Well,
it?
Sam, the world needs you.
What is great is it has got a long sort of pointy bit that goes round and round. So from what I know, that does good drilling.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Get on the shuttle.
You're on.
Yeah.
I was so certain that you would have been like, hated it. It was all about America again. It was hoorah. It was all this kind
It
of
wasn't
stuff.
hoorah.
There was like weird bits of logic that just don't like flow. Like you can't believe that an alien dressed as a husky can run for 90 miles, but like, but a spacecraft can jump on a planet.
Zero gravity, innit?
Can you turn the thrusters off?
But the gravity seemed to be all right until they needed it to be less gravity.
But no, this is what it was. We didn't realise they had thrusters constantly pushing them down. They said that. They explained the logic.
Right.
But I still don't see how they got lift and then it just weird.
I mean, they needed a set piece, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
And the logic just had to follow.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's Micheal Bay logic.
Well, look, I'm fascinated to know. We've talked about this film. We've given our thoughts about this film. We've given our meatball ratings about this film. Right? I would like to know: can we do better than this film?
I mean, it's a Micheal Bay film, so probably.
Well, not necessarily.
I mean, I genuinely think I quite like my film.
I already know mine's not, because mainly because of the film I am kind of going for.
Right. So this is another episode where we've decided there's a big old cast on this film.
Yeah,
And I don't think
we do it injustice to just do a few. So we've decided to instead, like Independence Day, pitch our own apocalyptic disasters.
Yes.
Yeah.
What kind of existential event have we thought up? And what kind of crew have we assembled to tackle it? Who's going to go first?
I don't know. I feel like we should save. I think Sam should go in the middle because he's. I feel like he's more in depth. I feel like he's gone big, whereas I don't think me and you have gone as big.
Okay.
Should we start with you, Jim Boy?
Yeah. Should we start with me?
Yeah. You don't need time to write it quickly, do you?
No, I've got my notes. So, my film is very much. I don't know if you know the film. Have you ever heard or watched the film? I think it's from like early 2000s. I think it stars like Sean William Scott, I think David Duchovny as well, called Evolution.
Evolution, yeah, I really like that film actually.
Yeah.
Where like, obviously
I've seen it for ages.
it's like very similar to kind of the vibe I'm going for. We've got an alien invasion, and then they just happen to find out at the end to defeat them, saline. So they have to squirt fucking Head and Shoulders up them. It's basically a big Head and Shoulders advert. That's what defeats the aliens. It's just Head and Shoulders straight up the fucking alien sphincter. It literally is up their ass.
They call it the alien sphincter.
Yeah, they call it the alien sphincter, and they're just there in like I think it's a fire truck or something with a hose, just fucking Head and Shoulders up the ass.
It was the
shampoo.
Yeah.
It was
Because
the
the shampoo contains the saline solution.
Got you.
They were like, where can we get that amount of saline? And then Sean William Scott's like, is it Head and Shoulders?
And then they're like, how do you know that? It's like,
Yeah.
have you not noticed my beautiful hair?
Just if anyone hasn't seen it,
That was great.
Jim
you
was doing that impression
Obviously.
with completely bald head.
So anyway,
How do you fucking know what Head and Shoulders is?
so that's the kind of vibe I'm going for.
I just call it shoulders.
Have you got hairy shoulders?
They're lustrously coiffed shoulder hair.
I have a long beard. So yeah, that's the kind of vibe I'm going for. I want like a bit of an action, but comedy as well.
You buy
Okay.
cheek and jowl.
So my scenario, I've got a scenario. I'm really gone with a plot synopsis.
Excellent.
So, scenario. A mysterious and super intelligent AI, known as the Omega Mind. I was toying with just calling it Armageddon in the style of like Team America, where the computer is just called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's just like the letters spelled out. 'Cause it's,
Oh,
I was
nice.
toying with that, but I couldn't be fucked trying to work out what Armageddon stood for. So, Omega Mind has taken control of the world's technology and is threatening to upload itself into every single device, causing global chaos. It has declared its intention to optimize humanity by forcing everyone to wear VR headsets that project its own version of reality. The world's governments, tech companies, and even military have failed to regain control, and Omega Mind has declared a no-escape policy. Anyone who tries to escape its VR reality will be locked into a permanent loop of confusion.
A bit like we were in the last time Jim pitched the film. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I managed to repeat myself about 9 times.
They started drilling.
So, of course, who do you turn to in this time of need?
Oh, who do you turn to?
Well, only the local book club.
Oh, for what reason?
Well, why not, mate? Just a local book club, innit?
No, but what's your reasoning?
Because they're just a zinging little team, aren't they?
Okay, but wait, I know the reasoning in Armageddon is spurious at best, but at least there is vaguely a logic because they actually need to drill.
Is it because these people are like technophobes or something?
Well, hang on.
Okay.
Let me introduce them.
Okay.
Right, okay.
First up, we have the forgetful genius, Felix Cray. A renowned inventor with a tendency to forget the last step of every invention.
Oh.
He's always building half-functional gadgets that may or may not help in saving the world. He's convinced that Megamind's Achilles heel is its inability to process bad jokes. Probably Sam, really, isn't it? Armed with a malfunctioning joke bomb, which is supposed to generate the world's worst puns, he thinks humour might be the key to destroying the AI.
Love it.
Accompanying him.
Are they played by someone?
Oh, yeah. So Felix Cray is going to be played by Ben Whishaw.
Oh,
Yeah,
Because I love it. I think it's brilliant. Accompanying him is his cat, Sir Fluffington, played by Ryan Reynolds. I'm going straight up. Detective
Pikachu, yeah.
That's it.
So Sir Fluffington is just his cat. He's eaten one of his inventions, and it just happens to be something that can allow him to talk.
I'm all in so far.
Yeah,
So-
I'm green light.
You know what you're getting with this cat. He's just a comedic cat, played by Ryan Reynolds.
I think Ryan Reynolds would do it.
Yeah, he probably would as well. Someone else who would also...
He would. Let's write to him.
Next up, part of the crew, the overconfident amateur magician, Ellie,
Oh,
played by... Where did I write it? Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's good.
okay.
Okay, so Ellie, a self-taught magician who believes she has actual powers, but really only knows shitty sleight of hand tricks.
Aren't they all self-taught? Is there a magician school?
Well, you know. Yeah, but she's just like getting these little shit kits. You know what I mean? She thinks she's like the shit, but really. Or, you know, she thinks she's actually a fucking Harry Potter wizard.
Nice.
But,
Do you know what? When we were away in Butlin, sorry to interrupt, we watched a illusionist show, and it was some guy who's been on like Britain's Got Talent and everything. Do you know what? It just made me think like I fucking hate magic.
I fucking hate magic. It's so shit.
I love magic.
Oh, right, I don't understand. It's such a weird premise. I'm like, how'd you do it then? Like that's like it's more interesting to know how you did it.
But so much of it, I was like, I don't care how you did it.
Yeah, but the
just
answer
not
is
moved.
always really fucking quick hand.
Yeah, or like there's a mechanism we built.
Yeah.
Obviously, because magic isn't real.
Or
Sorry.
they actually.
Well, I'm glad my pitch is that thrilling. You feel the need to fucking derail it. I can't wait for your pitches now.
Okay, go
Anyway,
on.
Jenna Ortega's good though.
Ellie.
That's a good show.
Yeah.
She thinks that she can out-magic a Megamind by tricking it into thinking she has control over its code.
Okay.
Okay. Next up, Doug, played by John C. Reilly.
Nice.
He's just the guy who's always confused.
That's John C. Reilly.
No,
He
yeah,
can do
great.
that.
So he works as a mall security guard and somehow always ends up in situations that are just way over his head. His main skill is just being consistently confused and accidentally stumbling into solutions by doing the wrong thing.
Very good. Are they all part of the same book club?
Yeah, they're all part of a book club.
Cool.
For example...
Even the cat.
Huh?
Even the cat.
Well, the cat's just his pet. It just comes along, innit?
I don't take my cat to my book club.
He leads the book club.
Yeah. Could you be in his house that day? That's they take in turns hosting. This just happens to be
Fair.
his day to host. The cat's already there.
So-
And the next book we're reviewing is this cat calendar for the next year.
and then
Fuck off, Mr. Fluffington. We're not doing Of Mice and Men again.
and then just rounding up my crew is a ex-military guy who always falls asleep in book club meetings, and at the end of every meeting he just goes, "Mission accomplished," and that's what he's going to do for this mission as well. He's just going to fall asleep, and once it's all done, he's going to just go wake up and mission accomplished, and it's just going to be a lovely little cameo for Danny DeVito.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Great.
Nice.
Yeah, love it.
He's just going to fall asleep, and he's going to wake up and then go, "Mission accomplished" in Danny DeVito, and yeah, that's my little crew.
Is it called a Megamind?
Why not?
Right?
Why not? I hadn't actually given it a thought.
I reckon that.
Plenty, a
If he
title.
was in with the studio, I reckon that's how he'd pitch it.
If I was to do, I'd green like this with one exception. I'd like to change it from Megamind to
I said Omega Mind.
Yeah,
Omega
yeah.
Mind.
Because
Megamind
Megamind
already
is a thing.
Omega Mind. Omega Mind.
Oh,
To
I should probably have said Omega Mind has a voice.
oh,
It's I I've written that.
Also Ryan Reynolds.
No.
Rowan Atkinson.
No, who would I give it to? I can't remember. Where the
Hugo
fuck
Weaving.
is the boys? Meryl Streep.
Oh, yeah, all right, okay.
Meryl Streep.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, what's her name? Olivia Colman in Mitchells vs. the Machines was very good.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
she's another viable option. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would change it from a Megamind to the abbreviation, which I'll think of later, JIM. And that would be the machine. And you would
So what?
voice
It's
it.
going to stand for something machine.
Yes.
Juxtaposed image machine.
There you go.
That's the name of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rubbish.
I would call it a difficult decision for the book club.
So yeah, so that's my scenario. That's my team, and I think it'd be a really cool little comedy action film.
Nice.
Right,
Oh,
Sam.
Yeah.
What do you
okay.
got for us?
Right. So I've kind
So
of
hang
gone.
on, before we do move on, how many meatballs would you give that film?
Oh, do you know what? I genuinely think that would be fun. I think Michael Bay would take that on, do something.
Oh
good.
no, it wouldn't be Michael Bay.
No.
I don't know who would direct it. Probably a good director, but well, I mean, with what Michael Bay's pumped out recently, he ain't going near enough of that.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to say how many. I mean, I'm on board.
2 to 3.
I'm watching.
Just say it's not challenging for like best films.
I need to watch it to see how much it moved me.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm willing to watch it for
Tell
sure.
you now, French Tom's giving it 5 meatballs.
Well, I want to see what Ryan Reynolds' cat's CGI'd anus looks like. If that's
I
That's
guess
on point.
He's definitely licking anus at some point.
yeah,
isn't he?
right.
Yeah, just spitting out fur.
Like he just walks in and he's like licking his like balls and he's like, "Do you mind?"
Yeah. You can stay for a while.
Yeah. At least buy me a drink first. Okay, so my film is called 1,000 Miles East.
Ooh.
So this first part is
Set in the West.
set in the West. This first part is like true, basically. So in 2013, a volcano called Tamu Massif, located about 1,000 miles east of Japan, was classified the largest single volcano on the planet.
Tamu Massive. Good name.
Sounds a bit on the nose, really, isn't it?
It's massive, but it
Volcano Massive.
Yeah. What do we call this? Fucking massive volcano.
Volcano Massive.
What's your name again? Tamu. Tamu Massive. I don't know what that is. I think it might be a Hawaiian name. I don't know what it means. I don't want to butcher any languages, but massive volcano is a bit on the nose. It was classified as the largest single volcano on the planet, rivaling the giant volcanoes on Mars, making it one of the biggest in the solar system. It was also designated as extinct. That is all true.
Oh.
It is not. It's a bit overvalued. It begins with the whales. So sea life has been noticed to be moving away from this location. Okay, you can imagine like your classic like scientist sat in a station somewhere looking at buoys or fish trackers.
Wait.
We need to clarify. We mean flotation devices in the sea, not looking at buoys.
just looking at buoys.
He's about to get arrested.
You're not suggesting that the film starts with a nonce.
Buoys.
You're not suggesting that the film starts with a nonce looking at a computer.
It's going to start in the Vatican with a priest looking at... No, it's going to start
He gets
with a
arrested
scientist.
before he gets a chance to warn everyone about the volcano.
And so basically they start seeing like all these fish trackers like moving away from this point in the ocean. First big set piece. You can imagine at this point it's all building. It's just kind of like, maybe some birds in the sky and stuff. So it starts with a Japanese whaling boat off the shores of Japan, obviously.
Classic.
And they're chasing a whale down. They're trying to get it. And all of a sudden the whale turns and heads right towards the whaling boat, like knocking it and kind of like knocking it over. And they're all like, this is crazy, because, whales don't head. And then suddenly just hundreds of whales just start coming towards it and like smash the boat and it sinks. That's the first piece, okay?
Okay. I'm on.
Set piece 2. So you're like, suddenly we then get that interspliced with maybe some government starting to think, there's something going on here. Set piece 2, giant tsunami. It's classic.
Boom.
We love seeing a tsunami.
Who doesn't?
You're in an
I'll
office.
tell you who doesn't. The people about to see a
The
fucking
people
tsunami
seeing the tsunami.
land on it.
People in a high-rise building looking out and they're like, what the fuck? It's a big wave. So Japan and Hawaii just,
Boom.
decimated by
Gone.
these giant waves. So what happens is this volcano has now obviously become active, You look confused.
Yeah, because which way is this fucking tsunami going?
Well, it goes every way because it's a ring, isn't it? That's how tsunamis
I can tell you
work.
right now that he's thinking, surely it would have gone into the volcano and put it out.
Nope.
That's what you're thinking, aren't you?
No,
Tsunamis-
I'm just asking which way the tsunami's going. Because obviously Japan and Hawaii are in two very different directions.
Yeah, that's how tsunamis work. They're like a donut going out.
Okay.
They go in all directions. Okay. It's just sometimes they're big enough to hit shore on one side and just dissipate into the ocean on the other side.
But this one's just...
But this one's so big, yeah. I don't know if it gets all the way to Hawaii. Maybe they just get rocked by something. I don't know. Anyway, I don't really know geography. But it happens, all right? I don't know if 1,000 miles east of Japan, I don't know how close that is.
You could get hired by Micheal Bay's team, I
Yeah,
suspect.
right, okay. So then what happens is this has been so much and the volcano's so hot that the ocean actually is boiled away and sinks a little bit, lowers, exposing the top of this giant volcano.
Oof.
And then, smog and clouds of dust start filling the air, similar to that Icelandic volcano from years ago.
Yes.
And you can't get any plane travel. It covers like half the earth in like this kind of smoke stuff.
That's bad times.
It's bad times, right? You can't do any planes. And so now it's like a massive incident. And they're like, all the people of the world have to come together and decide that America needs to deal with this.
Of course.
Not Japan, that's right there.
Yeah. They're busy. They're underwater right now, aren't they?
Sorry?
Japan's underwater right now.
It's
Destroyed.
It's bad, yeah.
Okay.
It's like even Godzilla's like, fuck this, right?
He was swimming with the whales.
He was
just getting a lift with the whales.
They find him dead on a beach. That's how bad this
He was
shit is.
he was actually using the wells to like jet ski or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the volcano is getting more and more active, and within I've said 2 montages, which might have been some subject. I mean 2 months.
No, they could be more.
Within 2 montages. Within 2 months, it will explode and pump billions of tons of dust and ash into the atmosphere, smothering the earth and cutting off sunlight for centuries, killing the planet.
Dear me.
How do you solve that problem?
Well, a team must be assembled to take a submarine down to the base of the volcano, drill into it,
Naturally.
navigate the lava flows, and plant 3 nuclear warheads. These will
Because
detonate.
that's how we'll solve the problem.
So you're just rehiring the Armageddon team then, are you?
Yeah, this is actually a little bit more based on the film The Core. Have you seen that one?
Yeah. We've got to get down to the Earth's core.
Yeah. And so they'll detonate that. That will collapse the volcano, and it stops the eruptions.
Wasn't the core when the Earth's core was going to run out?
The
and they
Earth's
needed
core
to
stopped
reignite
spinning.
it. Right, yeah.
Stop
that was
spinning.
it. Yeah. We've got to spin this bad boy up again.
And so they had to go down there with nuclear
And yet
devices.
somehow Armageddon was the film that broke more physics laws.
Unbelievable.
The Core.
I think The Core was pretty bad as well.
It's probably up there.
So obviously, they need a submarine that is special, and it takes, it can take the pressure down in the ocean because they have, right down to the base of this thing, and then it can drill, and then it can take the heat and the pressure of this lava, intense.
Goodness me.
Crazy.
Yeah. And who could possibly pilot such a device?
Well, I'll tell you.
Here we go.
I haven't got names for my characters actually. I've just got the actors, but I haven't got names for them.
Okay.
All this effort.
make
Can
it
I
up.
come up with names?
We'll give him names.
But the Joe Everyman, the
That's his
Ben
name?
Affleck
That's
character.
right, his
Yeah,
name.
Joe Everyman.
Yeah.
Joe
Yeah.
Everyman.
We'll make it Everman.
Yeah.
Everman.
Just for a little
Joseph
inflection.
Everman.
Joseph Everman.
Yeah.
In fact, and he gets annoyed when people just call him Everyman.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
like, it's
Yeah.
a bit like, what's her name? It's Bouquet.
Well, some people call him Joey. Joey Everman.
Joey Everman.
Yeah.
Joey for sure. He played by Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, nice.
Okay, yeah.
You can't go wrong with that.
Can't go
Dependable
wrong with him, no.
action
He's
star
classic. He's
credentials.
like
pretty good.
he's good, isn't he? He's sexy. He's going to survive.
Or will he?
He will.
Or will he?
No, he will.
He's telling us now
He will. Yeah. The sort of love interest, the sort of the wisecracking, fearless tech person that always needs to be on this in case something goes wrong,
Yeah.
but not as techie as sort of the other tech person that's here, is played by Zazie Beetz, she's Domino in Deadpool 2.
I was about to claim you'd made someone up then.
No, she's Domino in Deadpool
Okay,
2.
yeah.
She's also in a film which I realised I watched recently and didn't tell you, Geostorm.
I've heard that's mental.
It's really bad, But but yeah, she's pretty cool. She's always kind of like wisecracking and kind of kick ass, and like she never is kind of like the damsel in distress.
Yeah,
so it's
decent,
quite good. It's quite good. The kind of the eventual sort of best friend that kind of comes along for the ride and is kind of, if this was the Fantastic Four film, he'd sort of be the Ben Grimm kind of character.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd need muscle.
He's the muscle.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd need it on this, but
to fucking lug the nukes, I'd imagine.
Exactly.
Yeah,
To load up the warhead.
Do the drilling.
This is the guy that I keep talking about, but I've never recast him for something. So it's the Alan Michael Richardson,
Yes.
the guy that plays Reacher.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he would be playing it like the Swedish guy in Ungentlemanly Warfare.
Sorry, you just threw
Just
me off
like
because
the
you
beast.
threw his middle name in there for some reason.
Oh, that was how he appeared to me when I searched him.
But yeah.
So you can imagine him
he's
being
good.
like, hey, I've got your nuclear warhead for you.
He's good. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, now I like him.
Now, those are all the ones that survive.
Oh.
Now, the
Okay.
rest of the crew do not.
Oh dear.
Have you pitched how they're going to...
Yes, I have.
Yes, excellent.
Yes, I
Good.
have.
Okay.
So, I'll go in death order.
How many of these are we going through?
There's 4.
Okay.
There's a crew of 7 in total.
Okay.
So, first to die is played by Zooey Deschanel. Or Zoe Deschanel. It looks like Zooey, but I think she says
Zoe.
just pronounce it Zoe.
Not Zoe.
maybe.
But yeah, so she is like the
Can't
kind
kill
of the...
Zoe.
She's the kind of like very fast talking, quite nervous, like actually probably shouldn't be going on it, but there's some reason that she needs to go on it. And she's like talking away and everyone's kind of like a little bit annoyed by her, but she's harmless and everything. Go down to pressure depth, she's talking away, bolt through her head.
Wow.
Just a bolt.
Straight through.
Straight through.
What was her purpose on the mission?
To die.
Okay,
That
yeah,
doesn't
fine.
sound like a very
Maybe
that doesn't sound like a very well built submarine that's just going to suddenly shoot a rogue bolt out of nowhere.
Well, that does
It's the
happen, doesn't
pressure,
it? When
isn't
the
it?
pressure happens and the bolts and there's a fault and stuff.
Yeah.
It happens
Wow.
on these missions to
Poor
volcanoes.
Zoe.
Here you go.
She was probably, I don't know, like communications officer or something.
Wow, she's just been done dirty there.
Sure.
She's dead.
Yeah, for all those communications they're going to be doing at like 2,000 feet.
Well, I imagine they do need to communicate with the surface, Nick.
Okay.
I've got multiple comedic characters in this, played by like 2 of my favourites.
Go on then.
First one, Chris O'Dowd
Okay.
from the IT Crowd.
Yeah.
Go on then.
He's brilliant.
How's he done?
So he's probably like the nuclear physicist or something. I don't
Okay.
know. He's interesting.
He's doing the math.
He's doing the math, right? So he gets quite far into it. Like, he gets quite far into the film, but he dies when he's like in a part, because this submarine, a bit like the core, I'm guessing will have to have like compartments so we can lose people in different ways. So he's in one of the compartments trying to do the math,
Yeah.
and he is just crushed flat when like the pressure just like breaks into a weak point, and just like he suddenly sees like bits of lava dripping in, and then just like
Oh, because this submarine has to traverse the
There's
lava,
too
as well.
Yeah,
So he gets lavaed.
he would get lavaed, but it just crushes him completely.
Crushed, then lavaed.
Crushed then lavaed.
Yeah, these are some pretty horrific deaths for these quite comedic.
Hang on,
Gentle
hang on, is he in
characters.
the submarine when this is happening?
Yeah,
How the fuck is the submarine still
because
going?
I said there's sections, so part of it is crushed.
They're like, we just lost
that
section B.
submarine's still going to get destroyed there and then.
You haven't seen the core, mate. The core is the thing there has sections.
And that would still fucking annoy me. Because that would just fucking destroy it there and then.
He's fine
They would
Armageddon,
all die.
Maybe this submarine has got like resilient, pods on the side to
All
help
dead.
it.
No, all dead. Not having it.
Well,
He's not having that.
I'm not having it.
the next guy,
This
Okay.
film is more preposterous than Armageddon.
Jermaine Clement,
Yes, go on.
he's brilliant.
All these nice comedic actors getting
He-
killed off.
When he's talking about stuff,
Yeah.
shiny. he
opens the port hatch at the top.
Yeah.
And pokes his head out. And they're
Yeah.
like, just remember not to do that. Whatever you do, don't open the top hatch.
I'm going up to have a look. He gets scolded to death by boiling hot water.
Scolded.
Yeah.
Because they were like, put the kettle on.
Yeah.
This is stressful. We
Yeah.
all need a cup of tea right now.
He's about to drink a really hot cup of tea, and it sort of like joggles a bit all over his face. Dead instantly.
Scolded.
Scolded. Yeah.
Scolded though, not like burnt to death. Scolded.
Yeah, scolded. Yeah, like just like the it fills up with water that is
Yeah.
superheated,
It
like
just-
a
and
million
just
degrees.
The steam suddenly. He gets steamed.
Like a lobster.
Yeah.
Like a fucking rock lobster. In fact, he can be singing
That's
rock
horrific.
lobster.
Poor bastard.
Come on, then, what's your fourth death? Come on.
The fourth death is like your classic. This is like the scientist that invented the machine.
Classic submarine death, this.
Yeah, this is not a classic death. Well, it is a classic death. But this is like the scientist that invented the machine. He like discovered this is
He's
how you
got the
can
manual
destroy
for it. We have to do this.
He's the one that like this is how we have to kill the volcano.
Does this have to be the final death?
This is the final death.
Yeah.
Okay. And he sacrifices himself by going into one of the bomb pods that they've released. The bomb pod.
And gets fired into the volcano.
Much like in the core, if the bomb was not inside a protective chamber, the magma would destroy it before it had a chance to blow up. So it's in a protective pod,
So he goes
and
in the
he
pod.
accidentally gets trapped in there. Basically, this is the core, guys.
That doesn't sound like a sacrifice. That sounds like a bumbling idiot.
No, because like
He's going to fix something, right?
the bomb's like remote detonator's broken.
Classic, right? He
It's been
sacrifices
been
himself.
scolded.
I'll do it. I want to go down
So
with
he
my
goes down
machine.
with it, and he is played by a guy that I keep recasting because he's just so brilliant, Jeffrey Wright.
Excellent.
who's
But
the
he's
guy-
so brilliant, you're going to kill him.
yeah, he's brilliant. He's from Westworld. He's from Source Code.
He's
Naming
in,
things I've not seen, Sam.
You've seen him in
Tons
everything.
of stuff.
He's Jim Gordon in the latest Batman.
Yeah, Casino
Stuff to
Royale. He's in the Batman,
Casino
those
Royale, yeah,
James
he's-
Bond films.
The new James Bond films, he's Felix Leiter. How have you? I mean, like, there are literally people in this world you're completely unaware of because you refuse to watch anything.
Well, I've seen the James Bond films. I just couldn't tell you who he is.
He's James Bond's like best mate.
Like the CIA agent that like has dropped him off and stuff. He's
The
in
one,
helicopter.
you know, in the last Bond film where Bond dies,
Yeah.
he dies in the boat first. You know, he's like they're on the boat together, and like the guy turns on him.
Oh, right, okay.
Now he knows.
He wasn't Bulk or Skull from Power
me a
Rangers.
Do you want next time, just show me a picture.
Yeah, well, sorry.
Right, so that was like the noble sacrifice death.
Yeah.
I understand that one. The rest are very upsetting.
But it just happened. Like, basically, this does happen.
It just
in
happens.
In the core.
Yeah, it just happens.
They're in this preposterous submarine type thing, which has sections that keep getting destroyed in different ways. And at one point, they like break through. And this is where the bolt thing got me. At one point, they break through into this giant geode, and they're stuck on like this like piece of diamond the size of like a car. And so they have to get out and like cut it to like get this like pod moving again. And while one of them's outside the ship, because obviously this is now in like a geode, so it's like protected from this magma and stuff, a piece of diamond just falls through the helmet and kills them. Just all this stuff. Basically, watch the core. I've basically done the core, but it's better because it's based on a real volcano.
So you've done a terrible film premise, but you've upped the realism of the science marginally.
Not of the submarine. in all fairness,
Yeah.
Do you know what? To be fair, the thing I
Or the
really
volcano.
like, the thing I really like about this, and you could use it for any other film. I really like the title "1,000 Miles East."
Okay, yeah, it's quite good. Although that is assuming that the person's perception of where they're doing 1,000 miles east is whatever's
Well,
1,000 miles
I'm
east
guessing it's
from.
1,000 miles east of Japan.
It is 1,000 miles east of Japan.
But why would it be 1,000 miles east of Japan? What happens 1,000 miles east of Japan?
That's where the volcano is.
Oh, right.
The
okay.
volcano is 1,000
But it
miles
sounds
east
to
of
me
Japan.
like this team
okay.
is coming from the west.
Yeah, to them it's
because they're
1,000
Cool,
miles
like
west.
4,500 miles east. West. No, east. That would be
So,
east.
Nick,
Yeah.
How many meatballs would you give that film?
That was fucking dog shit.
What are you talking
A
about?
little bit about it makes me want to go back and re-watch The Core because I'd definitely seen it years ago.
I mean, it almost
didn't
makes me
stick.
want to watch the core.
should.
It's a strong one meatball from me,
What do you mean?
and that's generous.
What about
I
the cast?
don't think I could even give it a meatball.
The cast is
I
really
mean,
good.
I'm
The
not
cast
that.
doesn't make it a good film.
I'm not that enamoured about the 3 cast members that survived. No offence to any of them, but I wouldn't be very particularly emotionally driven by seeing the 3 of them walk back out of the Earth's surface once they return.
You could have said that about Ben Affleck, but until you see it,
I mean, I don't think I think I'd struggle to even give it half a meatball.
I'll give you one
I-
and a half.
no, don't
That
even know.
so everything you said would have just angered me. The crushing of cabinet of like section. It would just anger me because I'd be like, no, the submarine would just be destroyed.
No,
I mean,
because
And
you
yet, all
you
the
did-
Armageddon stuff, not a problem.
That's fine. You didn't explain why the well suddenly went mental.
yeah, because they were scared.
But you You just said to swim away. You didn't explain why they suddenly decided to turn back on a boat.
But that's the point. That's the point. You don't know at that point of the film.
You haven't seen.
It's just this weird thing happens.
It would have just angered me.
It's a bit like The Happening.
It would have angered me, all right? And so I wouldn't have even given it.
Wait, hang on. Things anger you when they happen in films that aren't explained yet. Like you're angered. Like, tell me right now why the whales have done that.
Just anger me. And then just this preposterous under the water bollocks. No,
I don't see what's
Right, I'll give you 1.5 because, in an effort to make you be slightly more sympathetic to my pitch, because I'm not saying right now mine's any better.
Yeah, I think I would struggle to find a meatball.
All right. Well, would you like to see if I can better that?
Yeah.
You probably will.
No promises. Okay, right. This
What's it called? Because mine has a banging title.
I'll tell you at the end.
As long as you're in Japan.
Okay.
It's a great title as long as you're in Japan.
When it gets released, like some films had a different title for international release, it would have a different title in every single country it's released in.
No, I think it wouldn't. I think the title works because the volcano is 1,000 miles east of Japan.
Okay, that's true.
You know,
But it's not 1,000 miles east of, like, Germany, is it?
No. Yeah, why Japan?
but hang on, you don't have a problem with films called like North by Northwest. What if you're looking south?
I mean...
But the only reason you're framing it from the Japan reference is because there's part of the film where Japan gets wiped out by a tsunami.
No,
right?
because that is how this volcano is described. That it's like 1,000 miles off the shore of Japan is the world's largest volcano.
1,000 miles is a long distance.
Yeah, but in the Pacific, it's not.
Okay.
It's still like hundreds of thousands, maybe not hundreds.
No,
of
it's not.
tens of thousands of miles from like the other side.
I don't even think
It's
that far.
4,000 miles from Japan to Hawaii.
So it's like 3,000 miles from Hawaii.
I'm not sure how far Hawaii is from mainland America, but it's...
Like tens of thousands of miles.
I think you need to look at it close.
So I'll have a quick Google. Nick.
A fair way Hawaii.
Right. Okay. This is like briefer than the other pitches. So for that, I apologise, but also listeners, be grateful.
Like, it's 2,500 miles from Hawaii to mainland USA.
Well, there you are. So this
So in
volcano.
total, it's 6,000 miles from Japan to mainland USA.
Okay, but that means it's 5,000 miles from America. You wouldn't call it 5,000 miles west.
You
Why
could
not?
do.
You
For
could
the
do.
American release, that's what they're calling
Especially
it.
when you've gone with quite a Western cast.
Well,
Unless,
Nick,
unless,
can I just say, it
unless
should
they're
be,
all based in, where they've come from, they are based in Japan.
yeah, they are.
obviously it should be called Timu's Peak. Come on. Can't believe you missed that one. Right.
Come on, you can. Get going.
Okay. So a lot of the premise of this film is very similar to Armageddon. The reason I said at the beginning that I had a bit of a late Christmas present for you, Jim,
Okay.
was because I'd assumed that you would have been furious again at this film and the fact that it was all Americanized. And in an effort to gift you something, I was going to present you with a much more international effort at dealing with the crisis. So imagine, if you will, that it's very similar to Armageddon. Scientists uncover not just one asteroid, but multiple asteroids. They quickly realise that they're not going to be able to resolve this by blowing everything this shit up, because that is going to create a massive amount of smaller asteroids that will destroy the world in a slightly different way.
I don't understand. Everything can be solved with nuclear bombs.
Blow it up.
Are we already going down like the Twisters route here? Is this film just be called Armageddons?
No.
It is, isn't it?
No.
It's not just one asteroid. It's multiple.
Wait.
It's Armageddons.
They also realise very quickly, because as the group of asteroids are travelling past like really far out satellites and outposts and stuff out in the solar system, that due to the composition of the asteroids, there's some science going on here, guys. Mm-hmm. Science.
Sounds it.
And like the metals in the asteroids, it fucks with electromagnetic fields. Ergo, they cannot send up drones and like computer operated things. They're going to need to solve this in the old-fashioned way. Manually, right? Now, they quickly realise there's no way that they can train astronauts to man the craft that they're going to need to go out to the asteroids and manually shove them.
Asteroid.
Asteroids. Astronauts doing asteroids. They're going to need to manually shove them out of their current trajectory so that they miss Earth. What they're going to need to do is recruit an international team of impact specialists. Now, who are these impact specialists, you ask?
Well, what is an impact specialist to begin with?
Well, specialists in impacts.
If you're
Literally
gonna-
the worst description going there.
if you go where I think
First person to be recruited is Jimmy Hotshot DaCosta, international world snooker
I
champion.
fucking knew you were going to be a snooker player.
Recruited, and most of this film is the recruitment montage, right? Recruited.
I swear to God, Nick, if you tell me now,
Right
that
after-
the plan is they're going to create a massive fucking snooker queue, and they're going to use one of the asteroids as the white ball to knock. I'm going to lose my shit.
Just hold.
Gonna lose my shit.
Hold
mate.
that thought, okay?
Suddenly
Hold that
mine's looking like a couple of meatball film, right?
Suddenly
Right.
yours is working like an Oscar winner.
He gets recruited right after winning snooker championship at the Ali Palais. There's like an agent like waiting in the shadows. Walks out. Jimmy, do you want to save the world? Right. So he gets recruited. He's like your leading protagonist, right? Next up,
Who's he played by?
sorry, Daniel Radcliffe, obviously.
Obviously.
Can you imagine him in a snooker waistcoat? Come on!
I could definitely imagine that.
You can't imagine it, yeah.
Thank you. Right, next up to be recruited is Seamus McGlurgle. Okay? Disgraced former curling prodigy. He's recruited in a dingy old bar in Dublin, and he is played by Colin Farrell.
Of course he is.
And he is disgraced because at the height of his stardom in the curling world, he was accused of cheating. His whole career came crashing down. But obviously the team know there's no one better out there to think about
Can
the
you really
physics
call
of curling.
a curler a star?
You can in this film.
Are they really stars?
Relatively?
Okay, next up is the recruitment of Rusty Fields, retired Destruction Derby champion. Recruited in the pit stops of a Destruction Derby happening out in Austin, Texas. Played by Jamie Lee Curtis.
No, yeah.
Right, she's there in her overalls, greased up. The team go out. Rusty, we need you. You got to save the world.
Jamie Lee Curtis isn't saving you so far, Nick.
And finally, recruited out in the deepest deserts of Oman is legendary desert polo champion Mitty Bafar, played by Jason Mantzoukas. And they have to there's at least 40 minutes of the film is the montage trekking through the desert to find him. He's this mythical, legendary desert polo
40
player.
minutes!
How long is this film?
And they're near dying of thirst. They find an oasis and sitting cross-legged at the oasis meditating is Mitty
How
Bafar.
long is this film going to be?
Mitty, we found you. We need you. You're the
minimum
only
4
one that
hours.
knows the angles for this mission. And so basically with the team, and I did that, and then I realised, hang on, this isn't particularly international or diverse. And I was like, but it's still going to be a multi-day
Irish,
film. So it's
British,
fine.
American,
Well, yeah.
and Middle Eastern.
Right, so
Who's
that's
also
fine,
American.
right?
Yeah, but you can
That's
play
what I meant,
Middle
the actors. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not great. They go out into space. They deploy these shoving crafts that they use to basically play a big giant space game of shove the asteroids out of their trajectory.
I have a question.
Go.
Just one.
I guarantee I'll be able to answer it with
You
scientific
said
accuracy.
they can't use computers and stuff.
Yeah.
And they have to do it manually.
Yeah.
But all the craft are still computers, right?
Well, no, they'll be the ship can the shuttle that takes them up can get them so far. Then they're in these very manual kind of little think
I feel
of
like-
a
I
destruction
feel like
derby
he's a bit
car
of a
in
hypocrite
space.
here because he shat on Rebel Moon and their manual little crank for the guns, and he's now saying there's no computers, it's all going to be manual.
This is all manual, baby.
I feel like there's a bit of a hypocrite going on over
But
here.
that was in a spaceship without these issues.
I feel like he's a bit of a hypocrite over there.
I guess maybe the magnetic field once you get up there
Don't give him
would
a-
disrupt targeting systems.
All of that stuff.
So they've got to be able to see it by eye.
And they've maybe got in some
Don't give him away. Al.
basic spacecraft there's jet propulsion out of the side, so little ejection of gas. And they're basically just playing curling and snooker in space. Polo. There's obviously a bit where Seamus McGlurgle is gonna portray them to take all the credit, and then he has a change of heart. He sacrifices himself to allow Jimmy Hotshot DaCosta to save the day. The team come back. The rest of them are all heroes. They've saved the day because they've done an absolute amazing 8-ball challenge with these asteroids. Potted them all. They go off on their trajectories, missing Earth. Maybe one destroys Neptune or something. No big deal.
Or Paris.
The end. And the film is called, obviously, Deep Impacts. Guys, come on, I'm ready. Bring on the 5 meatballs.
I mean, you could have just. I feel like you've missed a trick that I'm not calling it Big Break.
I mean, that would be good. Bangers was another one I was playing with. But yeah, as soon as you said, like, is it Armageddon? So I was like, no, it's Deep Impact. Guys, I'm ready. Bring it at me.
Oh, I'll give it 5 meatballs, but
Yes!
minus 5 meatballs.
What?
That was atrocious.
What are you on about?
I think
Let me just read back to you the names. Jimmy Hotshot DaCosta,
Yeah,
Seamus
I've heard the
McGregor,
names.
Rusty Fields,
Yeah. Oh,
and Mitty Buffon.
the only way it saves it is if it's like played out kind of like Spaceballs, and it's just a full-on spoof.
or Pixel. Yeah.
That's the only way you save it. But you've clearly
whoa,
clearly decided it's not. So
whoa. It's obviously a
Tongue
spoof.
in cheek.
It's obviously a spoof.
you haven't pitched.
And I
it like
know how much you like satire.
that.
That is
You've
my
not
other
pitched-
gift.
You've not pitched it like that.
I do think it's hilarious if DaCosta like misses his shot and that goes back and like destroys Paris. He's like, ooh,
I feel
what
like
was that? And, like Paris is gone. He's like, could have been worse.
I feel like you're trying to help Nick dig himself out of a hole here, Sam.
Yeah.
He's
Daniel
dug
Radcliffe,
his hole.
Yeah.
He's dug his hole. Let him lie.
No, Sam's the boy. You co-writer?
I kind of
pleased to have you
I'm kind of
aboard.
on board. If we can have one where Paris is destroyed and there's a scene where he gets told and he goes, could have been worse.
Definitely. I do think, from a comedy perspective, you've got all the funny interaction. You've got Jamie Lee Curtis being hilarious, as she's been in films recently. You've got Jason Mantzoukas being Jason Mantzoukas. You've got Colin Farrell, who, when he's in comedies, is amazing, being like the washed-up, sort of always hungover, disgraced curling prodigy. Mm-hmm. What's not to like? French Tom.
The whole film.
French Tom. Let me know.
The whole film.
Would the spacecraft at some point use its sort of like robotic arms to actually like use
Like a massive
pool cue?
I'd say so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Well, like Jimmy's got a big pool cue thing that comes out. Rusty Fields is like controlling like a big Derby car. That's what her spacecraft
She's got
is.
basically like big like armor plating on her
And
spacecraft,
there's a big ram at the front.
Yeah.
She's just like ramming into the
like the Glurgle.
Seamus McGregor.
Seamus McGlurgle.
Seamus McGlurgle.
His arm like comes out, grabs one rock, and like
And just rolls, yeah,
rolls
glides
it towards the other one.
That's why they need.
And then
these,
what's the other
these
one?
specialists. Desert Polo, yeah. So he'll
So
have like a
he's on the
massive
top
polo
of his
stick.
spacecraft
Yes.
with a hammer.
His custom one is that, yeah.
So his spacecraft has a big hammer in it, like.
Definitely, yeah. And they need these people because they understand, if anyone does, because that's the other reason with like all the electric and magnetic fields and stuff, they can't use all their computers up there to do the maths and all that. They've got to do it by feel.
My only
it's
thing.
just hard because yours is clearly the worst. But out of the two, I would watch Nick's over Sam's.
Hang on, you don't. Mine.
So would I.
Mine.
I would watch your film over Sam's film every day of the week. But yours is clearly the worst.
Would you go to a back-to-back screening of mine and your films gladly?
I would go back to back mine then mine. But I would if we were to go to the cinema, I was like, oh, you got to pick one film. It's either Sam's 1,000 Miles to the East shite or your
Yeah, remember the title, though, didn't you?
or
remember the title.
your Deep Impact. I'd be like Deep Impacts because it's clearly going to get. I'm going to get more out of it because it sounds funny.
My
Thanks
only
very
thing where it falls down a little bit with the logic, one bit.
Well,
A
okay.
bit.
If they'd created,
I'm surprised you're picking up on the logic because
If-
it is watertight.
if they created
absolutely.
one spacecraft that was armor plated to shunt them out of the way,
Yeah.
wouldn't you have just created all of them like that?
No, because it's very complicated up there. You need to have like alternate strategies for where, if everyone's ramming, it is going to be chaos, like an actual destruction derby. You need finesse of like the snooker pots.
Would it not have made more sense to just have a giant ship and you treat it more like an air hockey table and it's like dunk,
Sure,
and they've just got a
I
thing
mean,
and they just
sequel.
batter them away?
Sequel for sure.
I don't think it needs a sequel.
Trilogy. I'm thinking trilogy.
This time they're back.
More
Okay.
more deep.
More
Sam,
Deep Impact,
how many meatballs are you giving Nick's film?
Give it a solid 3.
Thanks very much.
Solid 3.
Yeah, I'll take
Give
it.
I'll give
Take
it
every one of
3
those.
meatballs.
Yeah. Every one of them.
Yeah, I think it'd probably get a 2.
Unbelievable. I know you both got soft spots for it.
Well, yeah, that's why it's given 2 and not 0 as per Sam's. But that's our pitches.
Yeah.
Obviously, we would do the usual. I will post it out on the socials for you to vote on who's the best.
1,000 miles east, guys.
Unbelievably, we all know it's going to be Nick's, despite it clearly being the worst.
Thank you.
Because for some reason people just vote Nick. I don't know why, but whenever I put a vote up, Nick always comes out top.
Because
They know he's the victim.
They know
So I think most of our followers are just nuts.
I don't think they are. I think the ones that follow you are nuts.
are the real
They're the
maniacs
nutters.
out there, yeah.
So that'll go up. You can have your say, and we will decide who's the best. And I will reveal that on the next episode.
And you know what? If you think you can do any better, and I struggle to see how
absolutely.
you could, but I'd like to see you try, please do email us. Let us know your pitches. Can you top our disaster film?
And that email, of course, is castorolpod@gmail.com. So, the Megawheel, once again, chose quite an action-centric film for us.
I mean, we've got. It's quite actiony, isn't it?
Yeah, where would you like the Megawheel to go this time? Is there a film that's on this wheel that you would like to see?
Are there any more Micheal Bay films on this wheel? Because that is where I would not like to go.
I don't believe there is anything Micheal Bay on this film.
I can't cope with any more
The
Bayhem.
Rock,
right
no, I
now.
think The Rock might be. I'm not 100%.
Oh, I think it is.
The
isn't
Rock's
it?
good, though. To be fair,
It's great. Yeah, The Rock is a great film.
I'm not seeing it. So maybe we've taken it off because of how action-centric it is.
Okay. Oh no, I wouldn't
mean,
mind.
it's a great film, but
It is a great film.
I wouldn't want to go Bay to Bay.
Are Lord of the Rings on
There
there?
we go, Beta.
The Fellowship of the Ring is on there.
Oh, that's where I'd like it to go.
Of course it
now.
bloody
Oh,
is.
I'd like it to go there.
Even though you watched it again recently.
Something fantasy would be good.
Fantasy
Something
would be
fantasy
good.
or like.
Well, I think that actually would be a good one to go to because, of course, you have recently just guested on a podcast, the old Codswallop podcast, Talking Codswallop, talking about the Fellowship of the Ring, which I
Yeah.
believe is gonna be their first episode of the new year, so it should be out shortly after this one.
Ooh.
So, of course, if you would obviously, if you want to hear Sam's long form thoughts on that, listen out, look out for that one.
Long form.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, from the sounds of it, she had to forcibly move them on a few times.
It did. I'd like to say it wasn't just me though. The we were all chatting quite a bit. It was good. It was nice.
So yeah, so of course look out for that one. But yeah, so it would be interesting to go there to see where we would, I guess, hear mine and Nick's thoughts on it. Because I don't actually know where Nick sits on the Lord of the Rings franchise. But I guess we'll have to wait and find out for it to turn up.
Well, I mean, at risk of our friendship, he better sit on the I like it side.
Well, there's only one thing to do. Let's spin the wheel.
Let it spin.
Right, so the mega wheel has picked for us Tremors.
I forgot we even added Tremors on there.
I think this one was actually by request of friend of the podcast, Jack. I believe he requested this one to go on the list. So,
Excellent
Jack,
stuff.
this one is very specifically for
Do you know what? I love a bit of bacon.
Love a bit of bacon.
Love
I
a
don't
bit of
think
bacon.
we've done a
Kevin Bacon, is
bacon
it?
film yet.
Kevin
have we?
Bacon.
I do
Have we
like
done a
Kevin. I
bacon
do
film?
like Kevin Bacon.
And this is like prime bacon.
This is prime bacon.
This is a slice of prime bacon.
This is nice.
Is this? Sounds like was this going to be a gym film or not?
You haven't seen it?
No, I don't think
Oh,
so.
it's gonna be a Marmite.
This
It's a
is
Marmite film.
This is the worms, isn't it?
Yeah.
The worms
Yeah.
coming out.
The giant sandworms.
I feel like I've seen clips of it.
That isn't. It's the only other giant sand film that isn't
Yeah.
Dune.
There's Dune and Tremors.
Yeah.
This is
There were
one or the
just
other.
two classic sandworms.
There's classic film. Yeah, one has Kevin Bacon, one doesn't.
Well, there you go. Our first film of 2025 is going to be Tremors.
Love it.
Oh, love it.
So after the Armageddon, you will feel the tremors.
Ooh. Is that in your collection?
No, but I'm sure we can find that anywhere.
Yeah.
So with the mega wheel out the way, it's over to Sam for the latest audio aperitif.
Here we go. Let's see if I can continue.
Well,
The
remember,
winning
as it
streak?
stands, you are currently 5-4 up.
By the number of correct answers versus the number of incorrect answers. So that's how we're going to score it from now on, because it's a bit more granular and it doesn't, punish the person that's lost. Because they could have got 2 right, but they just didn't get that third one. And is that fair that they don't get anything for that? That's not
Yeah.
fair.
Especially with a lot of the bullshit that was going around last time round.
Yeah,
so
here he goes again.
Bullshit.
Here he goes.
Can I
let
also
it go.
can I also ask that we quit the vamping? You just get a guess or you don't get a guess. Because there was a lot of them answers last week. A couple of them, which I knew straight off the bat, and Nick was vamping for a while.
Well, you mean thinking, having a good think?
I think if you don't know the answer, it's either you don't have a guess, or you just either
Well,
get
I
your
don't know,
guess
that's
or you don't.
fair, because there isn't. You. Hang on a minute. You were just plumbing the depths of your mind plenty of times, trying to think what could this possibly be.
Wait, depth.
The
But
one level.
that's only up
One
until Sam.
floor.
That's only up until Sam asks for an answer. Once he asks for the answer, I'm not then going, I just
Yeah,
give
you
a guess.
were. No, you were loads of times.
Sure, guys, I'm going to play the first sound.
Right,
I'm going
let's
to
go.
come to Jim first.
All right.
And woe betide any vamping.
Plumb those depths, my friend.
Plumb those depths. Dredge that puddle.
Do you want the answer now?
No, I'm going to go one more time for the audience at home.
Oh, okay.
Give you time to vamp.
Well, I feel like both me and Nick might have this quite quick.
Okay.
I might have spelt them wrong, but
Yeah. I mean, I'm not writing it down, but
You all right? One more time.
one more time.
okay.
Okay. Jim.
Okay, so I believe we're listening to a dinosaur there. It's just whether it's one or the other.
That's what I was split between.
Stop vamping.
No, I'm not vamping. It's just
What a vamp!
It's not. It's one or the other. And I think Nick knows the two dinosaurs I'm
He's
thinking
the
of.
fucking striker Vampircy, I'll tell you that.
It's either.
No, don't say either.
'Cause
Go
you
for
might
one.
give me a clue.
It's. I'm gonna go with the compies at the beginning of Lost World.
Right. You.
Ooh. That's what I was initially thinking of, and then I was like, maybe it's not. Maybe it's the spitter.
That's what I was thinking, but I didn't.
That
There was no.
spits
There
in
was
the
no
face.
hissing. There was no hissing.
There was no, but I think before it hisses, it makes that sound.
It's one of the
You
other.
want to give me the actual name of the dinosaur?
I can't name it apart from
I
a
can
fully
give.
neck
I do
spitter
know that. I know the name of the dinosaur.
that spits and eats Nedry.
It's the Dilophosaurus.
It is.
Yes!
That is 1 point to Nick.
I knew it was one or the other.
It was the bit at the end where it was like,
Yeah, I knew it was one or the other.
that's
I
when he starts
cut out the
getting,
hiss 'cause
when he
it's
starts
too
getting
obvious.
flirty
Yeah.
with Nedry when he's doing
One or
it.
the other.
Oh, mate, bad luck.
Yeah,
Right.
swing and a miss.
Swing and a miss. You ready for number 2?
Okay.
Can I get half a point for saying Dilophosaurus?
No, you get nothing. Karen like that, I'll take a point away.
I ain't got a point to take away.
That was it.
What the fuck
Some
is
applause.
I'll be coming to you first, Nick.
that? What the fuck is that?
Playing it again.
Fucking not a clue.
Guys, why would I be playing you some clapping? Why would I play you some clapping? It's got to be a famous scene with some clapping in, right?
Okay, I'm just going to throw something out. Is it the Joker in the Batman where there's a scene where he's like keeps clapping and like... But I would have thought you'd play the bit where everyone else stops and he's still clapping. For some reason that's in my head, but that's what I'm going with.
I've got nothing. I've got nothing beyond just generic applause. I could not tell you where that's from.
I think the whatever it is...
I think you're right on the...
It's the foreground clap that is the key thing here. There's the background clapping, but there is a
if he's playing the
clap.
Joker one, I think he would just play the solo slow
I'd thought
clap.
that as well.
That's a full-blown round of applause. Was there clapping in Logan's Run?
Oh. Yeah, there's loads of clapping and
Was there?
audience stuff.
I'm going to go with the Logan's Run.
The carousel.
Yeah. I believe... I can't remember if there was clapping in it or not, but that's my guess.
I'd have thought if it was, there'd be a little bit more.
That's my guess.
Okay. Go on, put us out of our misery.
It's the Joker clap.
That sounded far too much like clapping.
No, he does not carry on much after, because everyone's clapping,
Ah.
and then you just suddenly hear this loud clap, and it suddenly cuts to him, and everyone sort of starts clapping, and he like does 1 or 2 claps more, and that's
Is
it.
this the Heath Ledger one?
Always on fire today.
Because they're all clapping, because Jim Gordon's just been promoted to commissioner,
That's it, yeah.
and everyone's clapping, and then you suddenly hear this one really loud clap, and the camera like cuts to him. But literally, like, yeah, because I thought it goes on for ages, but it's not. Everyone like is still clapping, and then sort of stops, and he just like.
So say in my head, it's goes on for a long time.
And that's what draws everyone to. Yeah.
No, you see him for longer, but everyone else
Yeah.
is still clapping, and then they slowly start to stop. There you are, Nick. You're on a roll. You're on a roll.
So I can make it 3 for 3.
Here we go.
It's hard, isn't it, when it's like generic,
clunky and
sci-fi.
Yeah. Play that again.
One more time. Be coming to you first, Jim. Notice no one's writing it down, so I'm just going to have to take your word for it that you're not nicking each other's answers.
No,
I'll write it down.
See, because what we got there is because it's the first sound, it almost sounded like lightsabers clashing, but then it goes like a ship. And it sounds like it's an air to surface like artillery gun. Has he done me? And is he thrown Rebel Moon on there? Has he thrown Rebel Moon in there, wondering if I'm going to pick it up? I don't think no, because this is Sam. He's going to pick he wants iconic films, doesn't he? He doesn't think Rebel Moon's iconic.
No one fucking thinks the people that made it don't think it's iconic.
So Zach Snowden thinks it's iconic.
What sci-fi film is Sam going to have taken from? Right, I'm going with Rogue One.
Okay.
I'm going with Star Wars Rogue One, like towards the end where they got the fucking that big battle.
Firing down at the planet.
Yeah, firing down. I don't think it's whatever the fucking ship is, and they're all trying. I'm going with Rogue One.
Okay.
I don't think it's probably not.
I got no idea. I'm quite tempted to go Rebel Moon.
I swear to God, if it's Rebel Moon, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit.
Initially, I was thinking that's kind of like like you said, a big gun, grenade launcher maybe, or like a big ship or something. Then I was like, oh, maybe just weirdly in my head, Terminator 2, where it's like the robots fighting or some part from that. But because I'm already in the lead, and for the fun, I'm going Rebel Moon.
What part of Rebel Moon?
Oh, fuck. It's obviously the bit with the
in Scargiver,
air
obviously.
to surface Scargiver fighting explosions.
This is really interesting. You both are so off. Like, you're so far off.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it not a ship?
No. It is the first use of bullet time in The Matrix.
Ah.
Wow.
Can we hear it again?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that's amazing. Of course it is. Wow. It's those bullets flying past because
That's
it's
what
slow
for me,
motion.
it sounded like lightsabers connecting. I was like,
now you know.
now you know. You can just see it.
It's so different with because I cut just before the music comes in.
That music,
and
right,
as
but you
soon as
have
the
it.
music,
The
you
music
get it,
wouldn't have
right?
helped me in the slightest.
But that's the thing. With all, like a lot of these sounds, like I've tried to find them without any music,
like giveaways.
because
yeah.
it's such an easy thing once you get the music. But yeah, like that's so iconic, isn't it? That first bullet time. With like Neo like leaning back and those bullets just whizzing past him with the trails.
So good. Yeah.
It's good. It's great. Well,
great film.
There we are. So 2-0 this week, which puts Nick at 6-5. No, 7-5.
It was
7 to 4.
No. Yeah, 7 to 4.
7 to
Because
4.
it was 5 to 3.
Yeah.
5 to 4.
7 to 4. What time is it? Yes. So currently leading 7 to 4. But that's all to play for.
All could change.
All could change.
It probably won't due to my film knowledge, but you know.
Let me just say thank you, Sam. Those are some good picks.
That was incredible picks.
Yeah.
As always,
Strong pick.
Audio Aperitif will get put up on the socials in the lead up to the episode.
Yeah, actually, my fellow editor at work, he's really like trying to do it, and he's annoyed if he doesn't get one. And I think he's got like all but like 2.
Oh wow.
So far, so he's properly loving it.
He's up there. He's up there with the champions.
With the champions, yeah.
Well, it almost sounds like he's better than the champion.
I mean,
he's
he's
got
up there.
If he's
Well,
got
I
all
mean,
but
yeah,
2.
I mean,
Nah, he's up there.
Sounds like he's the one to beat.
He's up in high.
He's not half deaf.
Well, there we are.
That was it.
So yeah, so that was our review and pitches for Armageddon. You can look forward to Tremors in the new year.
Can't wait.
Until then, I have been Jim. Goodbye.
I've been Nick. Goodbye.
And I've been Cheerio.
Bye.
Movie Castor.